dropping knowledge on Grambo grows. Talking about plants and how they go. Let's go. From seeds to the cure, we always smoke pure. Nothing but good vibes up in here. We blaze the ganja, keep it fire. Grambo grows, burning desire. Learn about cultivation, step by step. You can. I got the negativity. Cannabis vibes on it. Grambo grows, runs up here. Grow, I bring you life.
Nothing but good vibes up in here. Grambo grows. Guys, welcome to the Late Night Smoke, your place for cannabis, joking, smoking, token, and everything in between. I'm sure smoking and token's the same thing, but I feel like there's a nuanced difference. So if you guys are into cannabis content and cannabis growing content, you are in the right place. Welcome to the Late Night Smoke. Guys, I'm so excited to be here for you. It's been a crazy week. I guess you guys have noticed that's become a huge thing. And I'll start off by saying welcome to all the GramBoard members. We got Curly Greenleaf. Welcome back, brother. CGL, as I call Curly Greenleaf, one of the most hardcore supporters on Instagram. Always loving the stories. Shout out to you, buddy. Really appreciate you guys. It's been a crazy week. We are prepping for the DGC Cup. I am dating. I am working on all sorts of crazy stuff and trying to be a dad and have a social life in between all those things. I know dating and social life probably go in hand, but I look at it like it's a different thing. It's like a goddamn job. Ugh, dating. Who needs it? That's why the kind of ladies I love are the plants. They give back. The plants never two-time you. They never do anything wrong. Well, sometimes they do some things wrong. And that's why we have grow shows to help people work through all of the craziness that sometimes growing can do. So this week, because the DGC Cup is on its way and everyone's busy, I'm busy doing all the things, I figured we sit down, we do a questions episode. So all you guys, if you have a question you want to be featured on the show tonight, throw it in chat. I got our boy Chunky Nugs is in the house today, and he's if you guys saw the last questions episode, you know I fielded all the questions, all unrehearsed. We do this with Jug Dealers, we do it with Dude Grows. Like if you think that we like secretly prep like answers to these questions, we don't. We answer them just raw dog. The Jug Dealers guys love nothing more than me to get like 20 random hardcore grow questions and just ask them. And sometimes they don't know. Most of the time they do. So I'm feeling that life. And so let's bring on my man, Chonky Nugs. What's up, Chonk?
Hey, good evening, all. How you doing? I'm doing
great. Cody Whittaker, the Sidney Crosby of the GramBoard, dropping 5 gift subs on everybody. Cody, endlessly appreciate you, man. You and LJ Jones really make my world go around. I endlessly appreciate you. And are you gonna be at the Cup, Cody? I can't remember if you said you're gonna be at the Cup this weekend. It's one of those things that's so crazy. Like I'm gonna meet so many of my friends this weekend. Like we always talk about it. It's on the thing there. We got to get you out for next year, Chonky.
Definitely 100%. Macro Pistol and your mailman Rose and I were all gonna hop in the truck and get out there.
Are you coming?
Next year.
Okay.
Yes.
I didn't think so.
Yep. So my wife booked a camping trip for it's her birthday weekend actually. So she booked a birthday trip before the DGC date was announced. So I committed to her birthday trip, and I'm not that guy. I committed to her, and I'm not going to ditch her on her birthday. So
look,
I can't make it this year.
As someone who's divorced and been broken up with by several women in the last few years, take in her birthday, bro. You can do that all the time.
Yes, sir. I mean, I get to talk with you almost all day, every day. I talk with a whole bunch of the GramBoard. I talk with the Tropicana group. So it's like I'm going to be there anyway. So
Hells yeah. Fuck yeah. So like I said, if you guys have any questions, make sure you throw your grow questions in right now. This is your chance to get your name featured on the show. We we are going. We're just going by the seat of our pants here today. I've had guests cancel on me for the last couple episodes, and then I messaged Scotty Real. He's always good for an interview. He goes, bro, anytime you need an interview last second, just hit me up. I'll pop on my mobile stream. And so I hit up Scotty, and I was like, yo, you gonna be around? He's like, I'm at the airport picking up the dude. And I go, well,
Nice.
son of a bee, what are you gonna do?
Go for number 2.
Go for number. Well, you know, you're number
Who
one.
does
in my
number
heart,
2 work for?
Yeah, we won't get into that. That's you know, people did you see my members only event where I went too deep into my dating life? Were you there for that?
I wasn't there last weekend. No, you're kind of late for the East Coast. So when you're talking like 11:30 midnight, my alarm goes off at 5. So sometimes I have to call it a little early on the after show.
Yeah. Curly Green Leaf was there. He said no number 2 talk. We will.
So the number 2 was going back to Austin Powers. Austin Powers, number 2. Yeah, who does number 2 work for? Yes, sir.
Tom Arnold, baby. Yeah, I'm from Iowa, man. We know Tom Arnold's from where I'm from. He's from small town Iowa. He had a boat on Lake Rathbun next to my family's boat called My Rosie back when he was married to Roseanne, and we'd always see Tom Arnold out there. So guys, make sure you get questions in right now if you want to be featured on the show. Drop your grow questions in. Chonky Nugs is going to grab them. I'm going to say thank you to Green Meds for Life for dropping that gift sub. Welcome all the new GramBorg members. If you're into crazy shenanigans of me giving too much information out in the world, it is the show for you. I say too much, I do too much. And High Plains Bud, I don't know. I didn't see Cortez the Conqueror. I'm getting all crazy hyped up with the DGC Cup. I am officiating Cortez the Conqueror's wedding in 48 hours.
Wow. And that's at the International Church of Cannabis, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes, we're doing an after hours session, so that way it's full smoking during the day. The Church Cannabis actually is a non-smoking place. It's kind of a tourist place where people will all come, and then you go up, you see the light show. They got a laser light show upstairs. It's all 3D projection mapped and everything. And it's a really, really cool space, but they allow anyone, you know, under 18 in there. It's a super vibey place. But then on after hours, after 7:30, and also on members days, they're called the Elevationists. You know, it's a real religion. They sued the government and won. And so they are the Elevationists, and you have to become an Elevationist. And their ritual is that they light the joints off of a candle. So they light a candle, and then you walk up, light your joint off of it. It's pretty sweet. Someone gifted Cortez a membership. Well, thank you. That was either Green Meds for Life or that was Cody Whittaker. So shout out to you guys, and welcome the man, the myth, the legend. Turpicana Kyle is in the house. Chonky was just coming from working on the Extract Seller Discord over there, as I heard.
Yes,
we
sir.
are
Yes, sir.
we're all and we're gonna have to change his name. He's not gonna be Turpicana Kyle. I'm thinking this is Terp Kyle. I'm gonna start calling him Terp Kyle. Kyle Terp something.
I'm not sure, but if you see my logo, you can't see it through this screen, but my logo has the new Extract Seller. There you go. There it is, right up there.
Yeah.
New logo. New company.
The red key slot. The Dude Grows computer in my little workstation is decorated by it. And so, yeah, Kyle's going deep. He's got a bunch of us all coming in hard, and I'm coming in the hardest. If you know anything about me, I get hard fast. Right? Everybody?
I have heard that about you. I have.
Thank you.
You do get around the community, by the way. The rumor mill is just a going.
Oh,
I'm the one starting the rumors, though. I'm the one starting them all.
Good. Any rumor is no more ridiculous than the shit I actually have going on. Listen to my members only content. You GramBorg members, you'll hear some things you don't want to hear. Extract Seller's coming hard. Go over to extractseller.com and get on that mailing list, because boy, I always start by asking everybody in chat, like, what are y'all smoking on? It's the late night smoke. What are you smoking on? And I gotta say that I actually am smoking on some Extract Seller. I've got this. I've got some live resin as well.
Is that the candy fumes I just saw in your hand? I don't have the candy fumes.
I got the candy fumes. and then I got some lemon heads, and boy, I'm loving both.
I was just typing those names in the Discord, by the way. It's
Nice.
gonna be
Hell
fun.
yeah.
Yeah, you
It
got
is
me.
going to be fun.
This is one of my favorite combos. I've got the Trinity.
Ooh.
Ooh, camera's gotten me.
There you go.
And I have the double tropical strawberry that I mixed together.
Ooh, love
And
that.
then my backups are all 3 sour Ds: diamonds, batter, and resin. Or sorry, rosin.
And while we're
resin.
waiting for questions, once again, everybody, if you got a question for me, anything about growing cannabis, smoking cannabis, the Dude Grows, the Jug Dealers, or Grambo Grows, stand-up comedy, anything in between, I'm here to answer all of your growing questions. And yeah, while we're hanging out, I can say that Jim right here, hardcore, awesome GramFam, he's over with the Seedsman Seeds, and they have an auction coming up in a few days that I recommended you to become the host of. And so you're going to be rocking it over there with Jim. What's going on with that, Chonky?
Oh, great things going on. And thank you so very much for recommending me and introducing me to Jim. What a great soul that Jim is. It's a auction that we're having on June 13th. It is the Seeds for Charity. You can find it on YouTube, June 13th at 9 p.m. Eastern. This month, we do have Tropicana Kyle or Extract Seller Kyle. Seller Kyle? I don't know if you call him Seller Kyle.
Kyle Terps. I'm going Kyle Terps.
Kyle Terps is coming on. And the benefit is for Plant Buddies, which is Adam and CC Dunn's nonprofit. So Adam and CC, sweet. Yeah, Adam and CC are going to be joining us. I was actually blessed to be on Adam Dunn's show on Friday night to promote the show. So we have Adam and CC coming on. We have Tropicana Kyle coming on. My boy Macro Pistol. Not sure if he's in the chat tonight. I didn't see him. He's going to be coming on as well. He may or may not be taking some photos for Trippy Kyle. So he's coming on to talk about taking some photos as well.
Hells yeah, man. I love this community. It's one of those things that it's hard to explain to people how deep the roots, no pun intended, go in this community. It really is like everybody's helping everyone. Everyone's doing everyone's podcast. Everyone's helping out with all the different things. Discord. There's so much to do. This market is exploding. You know, I was talking to a girl that I'm talking to a new girl, and 3 weeks in a row, three week, every show I come on, I go, I'm talking to hanging out with a new girl. And
is that the girl that you walked up to the rooftop balcony? No, different one. Wow, I'm way behind. I'm way behind.
Yeah. If you haven't heard in 7 days, man, there's a new. I got a new story for the members only show tonight. And guys, we got a bunch of new people in. I just saw 60 new people have dropped into here. What we're doing today is me and Chonky are sitting here. Chonky is going to be grabbing questions. If you've got any questions about growing cannabis, smoking cannabis, Dude Grows, Jug Dealers, throw them right in chat right now. Chonky's going to get those going. And
and I've collected a few that we can get started on. I actually haven't been paying attention to the chat, and I need to go back. So our first question is from Kevin. How long do you wait to flip after your last topping?
Well, that's one of those interesting questions. This is where the science and the art kind of come in. We'll always say on Dude Grows, it's like, oh, that's a strain specific. And then, you remember Pee Wee's Playhouse, whenever there's like the word of the day, everyone has to like yell. We do that with smoking. Anytime, yeah, Chunky's got it. If we go, that's strain dependent, we go, we gotta. So it's one of those things that's, I don't know, I would, a week minimum. You got to give them time to recover. Flipping a flower is a fairly stressful time for the plants, and you want to make sure that everything is humming right along. So say a week minimum. I would always do about 10 to 12 days or so. Some people do the full 2 weeks, but I'd say 10 days is about the sweet spot. Anybody that's done any schwazzing or any sort of, we're calling it, I don't know, is it schwazzing? Does anybody know what the correct pronunciation is? Like Scotty wants to call it schwazying after Patrick Swayze, because he always like has his chest all like, he shaves his chest all down. So I don't know what it is. But if you know with schwazing, like you can do a really brutal leaf strip on these plants. And then like what, 3 or 4 days later, you can come in and like it doesn't even look like you did anything. They're back bushy. They got all their lower leaves going. We call it weed for a reason. It's weed. But even though, I mean, you could top in flower. Theoretically, you can do anything, as the Jug Dealers guys say, we're plant janitors. We don't grow plants, they grow themselves. We just facilitate them becoming the best plants they can be. So you can do anything to a plant. It'll be a anemic, doty, shitty, lanky, bendy over soft mess. But yeah, stick to about 12 days if you're nervous, a week if you're feeling gangster, and I'd say yeah, you'll be pretty good. It's one of the things that's been fascinating to me this last little bit. I've been watching, we got the Jim from Seedsman, and once again, you guys, very busy. I'm very, very busy, and that's not usual. I'm not usually that. I'm very busy. Like always, people are like, "Oh, Grandma, you're so busy," and that's true. I am very. This week in particular, I've been preposterously busy, but I have seeds for you guys. And so I was going to repost all of the names from the first round thing. I keep saying that I'm going to give them out, but shout out to Seedsman. Thank you guys for all the seeds. And some of these seeds that a lot of the OG members in round 1 are going to get yes, and thank you, Jim. They're going to get the photos, but a lot of the new members in the round 2 giveaway, I'm going to be doing a lot of autos. And talking about topping, it's one of those things that in the world, people are always like, you can't top. There's a lot of misinformation on autos, and one of them is that you can't top them. Bro, I've been watching a lot of videos of my homie gardeners over there on Instagram. Dude, people are topping. They're topping autos. You just got to be super, super gentle with it. What you don't want to mess up with the autos is the taproot. So as long as the taproot's there, so just like I was saying about the plant, it's a weed. You can do whatever you want to it for the most part. It's like a sexy, vibey woman. You can do whatever you want as long as you're respectful. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be respectful, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Leave it to Grambo to get creepy in there. So I don't know. Does that answer the question there? I think. What do you do, Chunky? You're an amazing grower. What's your thoughts on the topic?
So I actually top and I transplant both. That kind of bit me in the ass this year because Vermont has been so cold and so wet. We literally got 2 inches.
Oh, you're talking about outdoors, huh?
Yeah. So what I'm doing for autos. So what I do is I do transplant my autos, and it's worked out really well for me. But this year, since I couldn't get my flowers outside, they actually are super pissed, and they are flowering now, and they're only like this big. So I'm actually, so I'm starting over with some autos. But yeah, as long as it's depends. If you have some strong genetics, I say top it, and I say transplant it. But
strain dependent.
Yeah, so I would say at least grow it once. I have actually found some auto flowers from Mr. Toad, Boneyard NorCal, that I don't think people could tell that they're an auto by looking at them. I know somebody on the show that's right in front of me claims that they can see an auto flower. I would I would ask you to come and look and see if you could find my auto flowers from my photos with these genetics, just with these.
A year ago, I would have agreed. Autos they got that atypical Christmas tree bulbous sort of butt plug sort of look to them, for lack of a better word. But I don't think they quite look like that as much anymore.
Yeah, they were my second outdoor auto run. So I can, depending on the weather, which is not going to happen this year, I can run 2 sets of autos outdoors. And these were the second set of autos, and they were taller than me by the time they were done. If you're on my Instagram, you can see me actually taking a leaf blower in October to these actually I take it to all my plants, and I just take a leaf blower and blow off all the dew and the moisture in the morning from Vermont. So
nice. And I thought you were going to be like the Adam Dunn leaf blower. Like, well, we took a leaf blower, filled it with weed.
Yes, I've seen videos of the Adam Dunn leaf blower. I wonder if Astro's bringing his or some variation of one to the cup this year.
Yeah, Untrained Astronaut brought one to the GCC Cup. I guess, God, was it last year? They blend together. I've been going to them as a fan for years. It was last year. Okay.
Yeah.
He's coming out in official capacity. We're going to be running together The DGC Cup videos do really, really good. The one from 2023 has 600,000 views. The Cup video from last year has like 110,000. So like we're like, we need to take this seriously. So Little Real's going to be helping out. Scotty's daughter, Little Real's going to be there. Untrade Astronaut. Boy, it's a looking forward to it. Hanging out, Chad Westport.
Yeah, it's great seeing Little Real and High C on Facebook doing their thing. It's fun. They have the best videos out there. They're so fun.
She's a wizard. And I was out at I went to Red Rocks yesterday for all you EDM fans out there. I went and saw Ganja White Night. I mean, as far as a stoner growing thing and music, you can't get much more into the plant than naming your band Ganja. You know, so I went to Ganja White Night, and I was talking with a friend of mine. She's one of my bestie friends. We always go to dancing together out in the world. And I was like, bro, I want to get out in the world and start doing this like every single week. And then manifesting in the universe, Lil Real texted me, and she's like, oh, I didn't know that you were into the wubs, as it were. And I was like, oh, I'm for sure into the wubs. And she's like, I go EDM dancing every weekend. And I was like, bro, I asked for this. I literally put it out in the universe. So like, I wish someone cool would randomly contact me, invite me to go out dancing. And you wouldn't think old Grambo's a dancer. She didn't assume I was a dancer, but I got some of these yak snack.
I don't see you as a dancer. No, you don't give off the dance vibe.
Oh, bro, I am. And this is the thing. I'm actually going to start taking dancing lessons here in like a month or so. I'm going to start salsa lessons very, very shortly. And let me throw out real quick, Crippled Cannabis Cowboy. Thank you for the $10, man. Once again, all of this money goes into an account labeled The Homies. And I got Canaretto Chris and Mo Grows. She is helping me with assistant work. So all these seeds that I'm going to be giving out, that is Mo Grows going to be doing that. And I'll be paying her a fair hourly wage. And that hourly wage comes out of these tips, these donations, and all of the community member support. So thank you, Crippled Cannabis Cowboy. Hope you're feeling
Crippled
better.
Cannabis Cowboy is always out there everywhere. He's great to talk to. He's a lot of fun. He comes on the 2B Blunt quite a bit on Thursday nights. He's always our first caller in. So if we know they open the lines on 2B Blunt, we know Crippled Cannabis Cowboy is number one. And like you, I just wanted to shout out Curly Greenleaf. I was going to do that tonight. Curly Greenleaf, thank you so much. You're always showing the love. I mean, I can put a story up or a post up, and usually within an hour, I have a like from Curly Greenleaf. So thank you, my friend.
Still think I don't dance, Chunky? You still think I ain't dancing? I keep these bitches.
Oh, yeah. Now you just need that white suit with a pop collar.
Baby, hell yeah. I put these on for my ex. I was like, what do you think? And she's like, you're giving off hot Jeffrey Dahmer vibes. And I was like, women. And thank you, LJ Jones in the house, dropping those 5 gift subs. Thank you, LJ Jones. I always like to point out, I have my LJ Jones kit right here. So I have a full kit. It's got it's got some bud, it's got some seeds, it's got a Dynavap. It's got a new addition. I got a green dot cart for you there, LJ Jones. So thank you for the gift subs and welcome the new 5 members of the Gramborg. Nothing but good vibes up in here. Welcome to the Gramborg. So all right, I think we covered topping. What do we got next, Chunky?
Yes, sir. Actually, I just want to ask that if somebody's putting any questions in the chat, it's going by very quickly. And with me interacting with Grambo, I may not see them. So if you can at me when you put a question in so I can see it, that'd be awesome. Thank you. So question number 2, coming from one of our friends from the Tropicana VIP community, Sean Samilla, and he's also DGC as well.
Yeah, I see you wearing that grow every time we do a question on the realdgc.com. I always see him wearing that Grambo. I love the fact that grow hat is getting popular, but I didn't put my branding on it. I like that I'm just putting out. By the way, the Nothing But Good Vibes Up in Here shirts are available. I wanted to take a moment. I needed to get one shipped to me before I actually. Oh, Chonky, I went to Red Rocks last night. I sit down. I got my first ever Nothing But Good Vibes shirt. Like here, and a bird shits on me. I sit down at Red Rocks, and all of a sudden, I think I'm getting splashed by something. I look down, I was like, "There's bird shit all over me." For those of you that are my channel members, that's the second time I've been shit on this month. I'm not going to tell you about the first one. That's for channel members only. But this one, I'm going to tell you about. So all right, I interrupted.
Which girlfriend shit on you first?
Well, it wasn't a girlfriend. We'll just say she's subscribe to the That's members only content, Chonky. Stop spoiling it. All right, what do we got for that question?
Oh, and thank you for making big boy sizes on your shirts. I did check out the store. So Sean Samilla, getting back to the question, Grambo, can you walk me through vegging a plant? If I have one that seems to be a keeper. So it sounds like Sean Samilla wants to know how to re-veg a plant.
Re-vegging, one of the more unique concepts in cannabis. I love that you asked that question because it's one of those things that it doesn't get talked about as much as it would be. For you guys that are familiar with the term, it also goes by monster cropping. This is a very interesting phenomenon that cannabis plants do. When you go from flower, all of the internal juices start flipping, and it starts to go, well, like, all right, I'm a mature cannabis plant. It's time to start producing a lot of pistils, and it's to start to covering those things with trichomes and oil. We want to make sure that we get really, really sticky, so that way when pollen comes through, if you guys didn't know, that's the reason cannabis is sticky. It's got all those to grab pollen to try to reproduce, and that's also why if it gets too stressed out and it starts getting towards the end of its life, it will self itself, and it will flip its sex, and it will start throwing off those bananas with male pollen, and it's not the best way because it becomes very unstable, as it were. If you use that male pollen from a female plant naturally, there's definitely other things you can do to make it a little bit more stable, but it will it'll start selfing itself. So it does all these really cool things to try to get itself to collect pollen, and creating all the stickiness is really the main reason for that. And they call it monster cropping, the re-veg. And so you'll take a plant that's in flower, and I happen to have firsthand knowledge. If you guys watch any of my actual videos, I did a top 5 strains, I believe. It had Gabe in there. It had P-Bud from Chem 4 fame and Chem D fame, Chem 91. And and our buddy Eugene Green Monroe from Midnight Roots, Jake Greba, one of the real ones out there. If you guys, I believe he's in Michigan, Jake Greba. Check out Midnight Roots. Awesome edibles. I really want some of his edibles. They're really sick. And he had this strain called Smoked Catfish, one of the truly rancid strains. I love horrific strains. I love it. Jim Matt, funky feet, butt juice dumping on me, baby. I want to get in there. I love that funky stuff. I hit this smoked catfish, and I literally was like, that is offensive. And I love it. It was horrible. And so our buddy Eugene Green Monroe, one of the Ricky Williams' friends, he's a former first round draft pick for the NFL. He's an awesome. He played for Jacksonville Jaguars, I believe. And one of the cool things that I love being friends with the guy, I don't watch football, so I don't know who the fuck he is. Like, everyone's like, oh, Eugene played in the NFL. I don't know Eugene as like former NFL star. I know him as my buddy Eugene. And he got that smoked catfish, and I believe it was just like a couple seeds. I think Jake Greba gave them to Gabe as like a present at one of the events, and there was no, I know, free thinker, but juice. But that's, I always say on Dude Grows show, Scotty will be like Scotty Real is just Scotty times 2. And I go on Dude Grows show, I'm Grambo divided by 4. I cannot speak freely on Jug Dealers or on there. So if you're looking for some funky butt juice talk or some smoked catfish talk, that's what the late night smoke's all about, baby. And so we had this smoked catfish, and he decided to re-veg it. Once again, this is one of those things that's kind of rough. It's like I hate that we always go to the strain dependent thing, but if you grow like an OG and you try to re-veg some sort of OG type plant, it's going to take way longer than like maybe I don't know, something like a Blue Dream, one of these robust, hardy sons of bitches out there that just come back really, really good. So I'd say the rule of thumb is about 4 to 8 weeks, depending on how deep you want to take it. You can do it in maybe 2 or 3, but I would say 4 is about the minimum, all the way up to a full 8 week, trying to get it to go back. But really, once again, that's why it's strain dependent. It's really about the vegetation. As you start noticing all the photo panels coming back, what do we got there, Chunky? I saw the bat signal. Oh yeah, strain dependent. Strain dependent.
I was doing the Pee Wee Herman for you. Sorry,
my man. And so, it's all about vegetation. So you're going to start noticing, like, very much like, you will, especially with like swashing and stuff, you will bring back a lot of leaves during flower, but everyone that grows cannabis knows the veg. I mean, they're just popping off new leaves like nobody's business. And so you're going to start to notice those big, I always call them like the shack fingers. You know, you'll get those big lower leaves. They got the big long petiole stem, and it'll come down to these big fat shack hands. You know, once you start noticing that the vegetation is coming back and everything's kind of, you know, just look at it. It's going to look funky. You know, you've got like little bud sites coming off and everything. And then there's all these weird leaves and the stems always kind of look funky. It's going to look sick and unhealthy. So that's why I kind of will throw out all the way to 8 weeks, because if you want it to go back to looking like a veg plant, you're going to need to let it veg for quite a long time. But the good news is that they come back, you know, even those strains that they're kind of weak, they come back and they are stronger. That's why they call it monster cropping. Some people do it not even to keep the genetics, but to kind of induce this wicked response that they call monster cropping, is it just comes back robust. It grows faster, stronger. It's already done the flower thing. And so you can re-veg it, start taking cuts from it. And those cuts are very, very robust. And it will, as DJS says, or it can take longer. This is a truth. Once again, it is all about genetics. It is cultivar dependent. Don't jump in just taking anything like this. This is one of those lesser understood concepts in cannabis growing. So, but the great thing is you can't mess it up. Take a plant that you love, especially do it before you need it. You know, if you're in a pinch and you have to keep genetics, you're going to end up in some sort of spot where you're not 100% sure on what you're supposed to be looking for. But go ahead and take a small like flowering plant. Take something that's you know, do it for fun, especially if you have the grow space. If you have a grow room, take a flowered plant, you know, take it from like week 4 or something. Like that's the other thing about how long it will take, is how far into flower you are. Or if you're on week 9, it's going to take a lot longer to re-veg that thing than if it's in week 1. So depending on how far it is depending on how long you're going to want to take it. And yeah, it's one of those lesser understood things. I've only done it once in my life, and I definitely I wasn't sure. And we got Chonky here. Chonky's he's not feeling good. So we'll take a second and we'll let Chonky get back, and I'll take another question that I just saw. Oh, hey, LJ Jones dropping another 5. LJ Jones, I'm coming, baby. I'm coming. LJ, will you be at Cortez's wedding? I'm not sure if you're coming. If you're invited, just so you know, all of you Colorado and Denver local GramFam and Juggernauts and DGC, you guys are all invited. Cortez the Conqueror is getting married 8:30 p.m. this Tuesday at the International Church of Cannabis. You are all invited. We're gonna have a big smoke out at the Church of Cannabis, and then we're rolling over to Adam Dunn's place, the Sohai Cafe over off Alameda, and we're gonna set up in the back. We're gonna eat some delicious barbecue prepared by Vinny over there at the Sohai Cafe, and it's going to be a smoke out, double smoke out. It's going to be sick. So if you guys, especially you, LJ Jones, if you are in town, come, and especially if you're in town for the DCC Cup, come hang out. You're invited. Come to the International Church Cannabis. It's over on Logan, just south of Alameda, and just tell them you're there for Cortez's wedding, and you will be upstairs with us. I bought a preacher outfit. So full disclosure, I'm ordained. I got ordained for this. I'm actually an ordained minister now. And I bought on Amazon, I bought a full costume to do the whole thing. It's pretty sick. Scotty Reel's in the house. Must be back up in Fort Collins after picking up the dude. It's always a great time when the dude is in town. So we'll be doing some Dude Grow Show this week with the dude in town. So while we're waiting for Chunky Nugs to get back, he's having a little bit of technical difficulties. I saw a question talking about, let's see if I can go back and find it. There's no way I'm going to be able to find it because there is so much freaking, you guys go so deep on all the comments, and I really, really appreciate you. So I want to give credit out there. And while I'm looking, I'll go with the Piatella hash. Have you guys heard of Piatella? It's one of the newer things that is out in the world. And I suppose since I just have a question right here, we'll go with Chuck here. Where can I get the catfish? This is a great question because not many people have it. Once again, Midnight Roots, Jake Greba up in Michigan. He's the one who has it. And guys, I don't get paid. This is not a sponsorship. I don't give two. You guys know the Grambo Grows show is 100% community supported. That is until Turpicana Kyle or Kyle Terps and extract seller. And if you're still watching, shout out to B Man. I'm not going to use your real name, but Kyle and B Man, one of my newest friends out there. Met B out there in the world of hanging out in the birthday thing. Interesting guy. Just instantly bonded with the guy. Super, super cool. I should have known. Anyone who's homies with Turpicana Kyle, he is the homies. So yeah, check out Midnight Roots. Jake Greba, he's out there. I actually don't know if you can get the catfish, but I know people that got the cuts. And so if you're desperate enough, I would start with Jug Dealer Gabe. I would start there. I would hit up Gabe. Gabe is a real one. He's a G Money Love, both with a U's, money with a U, love with a U, G Money Love on Instagram. Start there. Check it out, because I know that you can't just get seeds just like anything out there. But yeah, it's one of those things that I definitely support getting out there, and I would love nothing more than Jake Greba to hear that Grambo is sending people his way. He's a jiu-jitsu guy. He just got his third stripe, I believe, in a purple belt. And so I don't have 0 stripes in a white belt. I promised the universe last night at Red Rocks. I took some yak snack gummies, some mushroom gummies. They call them the yak snacks. And I wasn't full tripping, but I definitely was. I was getting there, and I had a little communion with the universal gods above, and I promised them I'm going to get back. I'm going to take those dancing lessons that I've been talking about taking. I'm going to get back to doing jujitsu and rolling. I'm going to make sure that as I roll out with extract seller, that I get Grambo Grows going and everything. It's my actual videos. If you guys haven't watched my actual like video videos, they're pretty elaborate. I take all of my editing skills. It'd be hard to pay me, the amount of money you'd have to pay an editor to make these like elaborate videos with a million freaking edits in them and music cues and cartoons and different stuff. It's a tough one, but definitely go check out my Night Owl video over in the video section. Right here is the live section on YouTube. You'll see home videos, shorts, lives, and these are the lives, and the videos has the actual video. So I recommend checking out those 3 videos. Night Owl video just crossed 120,000 views. Thank you all GramFam out there and Gramborg members for sharing that. Every time a video pops off, whether it's Dude Grows, Jug Dealers, or Grambo Grows, I look at the analytics. I go, why did this video do 70,000? I go, oh, because everybody shared it. Sharing is caring. Once again, what do I always say, guys? Smoke that like button, subscribe if you vibe, and you see that share button, roll this video up and pass it to a friend. Sharing is caring. YouTube can't shadow ban us if you guys share it. That's how this works. All YouTube wants is for people to enjoy the videos in a way that aligns with the community guidelines. Well, the community guidelines are they're changing, and they're getting a little bit more cannabis friendly. And so as we start rolling out these new terms and conditions and everything, we're gonna start rolling out a lot more content. You guys might have noticed over on Dude Grows, we started doing the Dank Nug segment again, and that's because the community guidelines aren't changing. And I see here my man Chonky Nugs is back. He's in a beautiful living room with a beautiful green hue all around him.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
And no time for a mic and sound check on this one. Sorry about that. My camera decided to die, and and my other machine wouldn't let me change cameras. So don't know where we're at, but we had a great conversation about the re-vegging, and I don't know how far you went and where you wanted to go with that. Do you want to have a follow-up question on that by any chance, or are we past that?
Sure. I don't know if I covered it already, but
yeah. So our boy Mailman, I mentioned Mailman a little earlier. Mailman asks, I thought monster cropping was taking clones in flower. What is that called?
Well, I suppose that's the thing, is that it's I suppose that's a good point, Mailman. Just using the linguistics of the situation, that would be considered more of a monster crop. But I think of it as like, it's a whole plant monster cropping, essentially. You're getting the same kind of results from it. But yeah, shout out to Mailman, one of the best question askers out there. And I suppose that's a good point. I might be getting too fast and loose with the terms of monster crop. And once again, we don't look at these questions, we just go off. But I would also invite you guys, don't be one of those people that's like all about like the language police. You know, we'll get those people that like are against strains. They're like, oh, it's a cultivar. I go, man, we know it's a strain, man, or we know it's a cultivar. Strain is here to say. And then I'll always bust people's balls because they call it cloning. And I go, well, it's actually propagation. That's taking a prop, not a clone. You know, we're one of the only industries that says cloning. Cloning, what is that? That's not the see. DJS got my back. Reveg is monster cropping. I believe so, but to be fair, we might be playing a little fast and loose with language, but the point of language is not what you say, it's what the people hear. I always say jargon is great. These words are just handles we put on concepts to hand to other people. I love that. Anytime I get annoyed about jargon or anything like that, I always just remember that term. Like, oh, it's synergy, and people brand synergy, and I go, man, he's just trying to say something. He can like give you 50 words to say something, or he can say 2 and hand it to you real easily, and that makes it a lot easier to understand. And shout out to Sicko Grows. Sicko, I need my beard done. I can't wait till Friday. Look at me, I'm all grayed out. You know, I've been picking up way less women since Sicko was doing my beard. We got to get this taken care of. So I think we covered that. What do we got up next, Chunky?
I don't have a Sicko Grows, but I saw the barber on Saturday myself, actually.
Not bad. You're looking tight.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so I don't know where you saw your questions, and I'm not sure how long I was even absent. So I'm going to go back up to a question that looked like it was a general question for everybody, but I'm going to ask you, so I'm curious. It comes from a Chromo, and I apologize if I did not pronounce that right. It says, have you guys tried Piatella hash?
Funnily enough, this is exactly the question. I was scrolling for it while you were away, and I haven't. So one of the cool things is hanging out with Nika T, hash maker Nika T. He's one of the people that famously coined the term solventless back in the day. He awesome grower, awesome hash maker. Will be at the DGC Cup this weekend for the Sunday hash bash. He's going to be submitting out there. And so it's a Spanish product. This comes from Spain. We had Nika T in to talk about Piatella hash when the Jug Dealers were about to go out to Spanibus out there. And I just had my hernia surgery, so I wasn't able to get out there. Really regret, because now Spanibus has been in Barcelona every year since its inception. It's no longer going to be in Barcelona. So yeah, it's a Barcelona product. It comes out of Spain, and there's 2 ways of looking at Piatella. So Piatella is just like your average old school, like kind of dry sift hash, but then they put it into a saran wrap foil and kind of refrigerate it, let it age. It gets this film of oil, like, you know, like not like actual, like, it's not terpenes. It's not like, you know, it's just like the greasy oil from squished trichome heads that kind of form on there, and it insulates it in this like little, like as dude will always sound, Dude Grows, it's just basting in its own dank, you know. And so there's 2 schools of thought on the Piatella. There's the people that really love it and respect the art and everything, like Nika T, and he'll say, oh, it's an art, it's one of these things they invented, it's just so cool. And then you talk to other people and they go, it's lazy man's hash. Someone that got halfway through producing hash, put it in sulfane, threw it in the refrigerator, forgot about it for 3 months, went back in, and it turned into something kind of dank in there. So it's one of those things. It's essentially aged hash. It's basting in its own dank, as the dude will say. And I haven't tried it. The thing about like with Champagne, Champagne is a region of France. So if anyone's watched Wayne's World as many times as I have, they'll know that not all sparkling wines are Champagne, but Champagne from the region of Champagne is Champagne. And the same rules apply with Piatella. It's a region out there. So if it's not from the Piatella crew, it's not rightfully considered Piatella. But I know, I believe it's Nika T's company's Essential Extracts, right? I believe it's Essential Extracts. And check me if I'm wrong out there in the world. And yeah, it's he's gonna be making Piatella. It's gonna be inspired by he's one of the guys that really respects and reveres the Piatella hash. And I'll tell you, I am very curious to try it. I want to try all things cannabis, man. I remember when dabs first came out, seemed like crack cocaine, seemed really sketchy. We're taking blowtorches and heating up pieces of titanium and throwing globs of motor oil onto it and then coughing for 45 goddamn minutes. And I was right there ready to try it. So I'm never scared to get in the mix. I want to try whatever is new, funky, and awesome. So Piatella, can't give it a thumbs up or thumbs down. It's probably pretty freaking good, but haven't personally tried it yet. You tried anything like Piatella, Chong?
I've had cold cure rosin, but not necessarily Piatella.
Yeah.
Pretty much the same
Yeah,
thing.
it's not the same thing. Yeah, it's more of a dry sift kind of like product. It's
Right.
it's a 5-star hash that you stop halfway through, roll
Yeah,
up,
it's almost like
plastic and then forget about
to
it.
get true Piatella, it needs to be from Uncle's farm in Barcelona, grown by specific farmers. So
Yes.
I mean that's where I know that's where you were going with the terroir and the appellation and such. Yes. So,
as Scotty would say, the skin of white grapes, the fine terroir.
I think when we have extract cellar, we're gonna have to start talking about terroir and appellation and just maybe dab with our pinkies up, maybe.
I've dabbled with a little pinky up places. Don't worry about it.
All right. So
all right, what do we got next, John?
Yeah, so I'm gonna go back to the questions I had up top. If you answered them when I was gone, let me know. Trailblazer 710. If you're growing in the room you dwell in, what steps do you take to make sure one your tent stays clean and sterile? Is there anything we should do to prep the room for the tent, IPMs, cleaners, etc.? So it sounds like
great question.
What Trailblazer is asking is just how to keep it clean and sterile. Because if you're living in that same room, you don't want to have a mess.
Yes, you're going to end up with dust and the particulate. They always say that a lot of sort of hashes or a lot of dust is skin cells. That's actually a lie. So you don't got to worry about as much of a lot of it is clothing. So if you wear a lot of kind of cotton clothing, any sort of wools and everything, that stuff really, like, if you ever gone in front of a window on a really sunny day, you can like pat yourself and you'll see if you like rub your beard, like right now, you guys can't see it because I'm lit cleanly, but like I can see to my own thing as I'm doing this stuff pops off, little tiny hairs, little schmutz that gets in and trapped on you're not really aware of. And it's one of those things that it really mounts up. If you've ever seen belly button lint, right? That lint comes from places, it goes places. And so that collects inside your little orifice there, but it will get out there. So make sure you want some filtration, like any sort of HEPA filtration. If you're living in the room with your tent, you're probably not going to be getting too much of a good HEPA thing. But if you can get a HEPA filter in between, like especially if you have a lung room that's going into your grow room or tent, that's a great situation. If you can put a HEPA filter in an intermediate spot in between those, that's really the best bet. In my living room, I have this big picture window in my living room. It's not this one right here. This one outlooks the other side, but I got a nice window that looks over the mountains. And so on the sunset, these light rays just pour in, and I look all around my house and it just looks like snow, glisten, like I'm in a snow globe. There's so much dust in my apartment that flies in. And so I run a big carbon filter just in my house, just sucking it up. So I would recommend you have a carbon filter inside of your tent, like a little one. And if you get a bigger one, put it just in your room, put it by your bed. It's really good just to clean the air. It's good for your lungs. Like literally, I have mine. I don't like another thing you can do. It's one of those things that sometimes is controversial. I brought it up on Dude Grows for a short one time, and I was like, you can run your carbon filter, not pulling the air out, but pushing it in. And then they're like, no one does that. I go, I do it because it doesn't create a lot of wake. If you take your carbon filter and you put the fan on, so that way it's exhausting, it's sucking through the filter and out, it's blowing this massive wave of air everywhere. And I think of it like water with wake. You're getting a lot of wake going everywhere all through your room. But if you flip that son of a bitch and you have it blowing through, it diffuses out and it becomes really, really quiet. You don't get any wake. And all you do is just see this funnel of crap. And I started running a carbon filter in my living room to take care of all that dust. Now, every day when that sun goes down, I looked around, it's just clean, beautiful air. I'll take my finger inside the thing and you just rub it around. It's just caked in schmutz. And so I'd say, yeah, find even a used carbon filter. Get a big one, get a big fan, get some used ones. And basically that's it. Filtration is your best friend. Mailman said, if you can get a HEPA filter inside your vents, that's just money. It's gonna be great for you and your plants. And definitely keep it going. Filtration is your friend. It's your plant's friend. There is no wrong. And especially with all the grows nowadays, I know I live in Denver, so bro, you get on Facebook Marketplace and you type in cannabis growing equipment, there is 100 dudes getting out of the game. You know what I mean? There's legacy growers getting out of the game. They ain't trying to hold on to this equipment. You can get CO2 tanks for nothing. You can get fans for nothing. Literally, I believe Hot Rod's Head Stash, our buddy Hot Rod down there in Florida, he got, I think, 30 like Gavitas for like $45. Gavitas are like hundreds of dollars, and I think he got like 30 of them for like $50. And literally, I was like, what are you going to do with all those Gavitas? He's like, I'm going to grow, homie. So if you live in a legal market, definitely hit up Facebook Marketplace, find yourself some cheap used gear. And otherwise, go over to acinfinity.com, use coupon code Dude Grows. That'll save you a little bit of money. Pick up some stuff from them. I personally, the one I use in my grow is an old school can filter with a hurricane fan in there. But my one I use in my living room, where I'm actually sitting with my daughter and dates and whatnot, I don't want a whirring fan. So I went over to AC Infinity, used code Dude Grows, and got myself a discount on a badass filtration system. And it's all controllable. Remember the days, Chonky, back in the day when nothing was controllable? You had to rig everything. CO2 controllers were insanely expensive if you could even find them. It's so nice that companies exist now that just do it all for you. I'm all about that life.
Yeah, I changed all my 10 over to VPD. I was sick of manually changing my heat and my exhaust and my humidity. Had just changed everything to VPD. Everything stabilized, and it's growing like a dream. A little bit warmer than I want it to be, but like Hot Rod, I actually picked up 3 Scorpion Diablos for $1,000. So even my little 4x4 has a Scorpion Diablo in it, and it gets hot in there if I crank up those lights.
Yeah, dude, I've been hearing people call the Diablos. They go, dude, that's the devil's spectrum. You got to be careful. It will nuke your clones and stuff. And that's a good thing. They're all controllable, so there's really no excuse for nuking your clones or anything like that. Nuking your veg plants, you can dial that thing down to 25%, and it runs like a beast. Then you get a big old canopy, and then you're gonna be happy you got all that extra horsepower to play with.
Yes, sir. All right. Also, Crippled Cannabis Cowboy said that he runs 2 carbon filters in his bedroom to keep down the smell.
There you go. It helps with everything. It really helps with your lung health. I can't tell you. I lived in a basement for like the last 5 years since I got divorced. I got a nice house with Church of Cannabis Nate, and it was a finished basement. It was a nice basement, but still, I lived in a basement. There's no real light. I had no clue how dusty and crappy my air was. I got in this apartment with all this light, and I go, damn, dude, it's fucking dusty in here. I've been breathing I need to have a Corona mask just to exist in my house. So the more filtration, the better.
And that leads into our next question. I'm going to jump to a most recent one from Nate C. Grambo, any tips on managing heat in a sealed room while not venting out all the CO2?
Oh, man. Get a mini split. If we were talking grow, seriously, if you were asking my advice, I would force you to find a mini split. Mini splits, if you guys don't know, they call it the blower side of it, and then you got the condenser side of it, and it's essentially like a heat pump in reverse. It's an air conditioner. So you take all the heat, it condenses on these coils in the fluid. The exchange between the condenser and the blower creates a differential, and the heat and pressure takes all of the heat, heats up the liquid, it turns into a liquid, goes off, expands all of that heat outside through the condenser, comes back in, vaporizes in its cooler state as it goes. And it's cyclical. And I might have that backwards. I get dyslexic sometimes and I forget which direction is which. But the mini splits are amazing because you can take the unit, put it outside. In my I had a big, huge grow room when I was in the legacy market. And I was very blessed that I grew in a one-car garage. And I had a little bit of it compartmentalized with a wall for my veg. And then I had like a 12 by like 8 flower area. And I had a little doggy door. And so I ran those tubes out there and had a really good situation with that. You can get all sorts of cool, they're not the most efficient, but you can get like ground ACs that just vent. They'll just have a tube that just straight up vents it. You can also get wall ACs out there. Other than that, the only way to really vent your room without AC is air exchange, and then you're going to lose your CO2. There's no happy medium. Ambient can be as high as like 600 to 800. You can get some pretty deep CO2 just ambiently, especially if you got animals and people living in your house and you're all breathing it up. Any of the people with CO2 monitors out there will know that your CO2 will go up quite a bit if you have a sealed grow room while you're in like pulling fan leaves or doing any of the sort of stuff that you're doing. You'll notice, holy shit, my CO2 went up like 200 parts per million. That's pretty crazy. And so unfortunately, yeah, AC is really your only way. I would be curious. Dan G asked about a swamp cooler. That's an air exchange. Same thing. Swamp cooler, also known as an evaporative cooler. They'll have cocoa fibers or some like fibers inside that. It has misters that mist over the cocoa fibers. A fan brings in air over those fibers, and then as it evaporates that thing, there's once again a thermal latent heat exchange, and some of that heat that's making that water go from water to vapor. That's removing heat. It takes energy to make water go from a state transfer like that, and it actually cools the air as it goes. But that is venting outside air into your room. Won't solve the problem, but great solution if you once again throw a HEPA filter in there, get that air. If you can put a swamp cooler in your grow and you don't mind the air exchange, yeah, that's killing two birds with one stone. That's the shit. So I don't know. I would be curious, Jonky, if anyone else has any ideas. I don't think scientifically there's a way to cool your room without venting or conditioning.
I'm not really familiar with it. Maybe you are. The Terraform 7 from AC Infinity. It's the all-in-one AC dehumidifier, air conditioner on one. I'm not sure if you put that right in your grow with you, but I still think.
But you're right back to needing third-hand equipment. Like any method that you're gonna have, you're gonna need a cooling, a reverse heat pump, an air conditioner. You're going to require electricity, power, and an upfront purchase to do it without.
And that unit's like $700 right out of the gate for the. And it's the only option that I know of that's all-in-one, put it in your tent to control the environment. All right.
And just make sure if you do buy a mini split, research, look up SEER, SEER. It's all rated in SEER, and you'll find out how many wraps on the coil, how efficient it is. If you get a low SEER unit, you're going to be paying out the wazoo. And also, don't oversize your thing. This is a thing Scotty always talks about. Scotty Real, his old man was a HVAC guy, and there's a thing called short cycling. And so you'll get a thing that it turns on, it turns off, it turns on, it turns off, it turns off. So if you get too overpowered, if you're like, I'm going to get like a 5-ton unit for my grow room, it's actually not good. You want to size your unit to the appropriate. Why did it sound dirty when I said that? You want to size the air conditioning SEER to and the tonnage, not the SEER in this case, but the tonnage, and how much BTUs do you actually need? Size it just over, maybe 10 to 20% over. Don't double it. it's going to short cycle you, and it's going to be a wear and tear on your units. So yeah, I think that covers air conditioning a room.
All right. So John Bike or Beak, I apologize for pronunciation. Grambo, how many people use a green light at night to simulate the moonlight and prevent light leaks?
Would you say use a green light?
Yep. How many people use a green light at night to simulate the moonlight and prevent light leaks? This is nothing. I have never heard of this before.
Yeah, we'll go right with that. With nobody. Nobody's simulating the moon. Any light out in nature, plants just get acclimated to it, and it's a really dull ambient light source. So getting a light source that is bouncing, first of all, you get the sun bouncing off the moon, then it comes down, it's bouncing off all of the things that are out in the world, and you get this nice soft diffuse. It's like how you'd use a soft box, in making films and everything. We have soft boxes, and it's a diffusion thing. Sometimes it'll go through many different layers, and then it will go through a screen that then diffuses the light to make it very, very ambient. I don't think there's anything in a grow room that would be advantageous of putting any light diffusion inside of there, especially if you get some plants that are specifically, like to self themselves, as YouTube doesn't like the H word, the HERM word. They don't care for that. It gets wrapped up with humans and a lot of political stuff. So we'll solve it when it's selfing itself. You want to make sure like light leaks, anything is it's even like little point lights on LED lights on timers and things. People will cover those with tape because it's not a diffuse light. It's coming out with a very point like sort of thing. And then on the subject of green lights, here's a common misconception. Plants don't see green light. They sure as shit seen green light. Here's the thing. Green light does not disturb the phytochrome state. So when a plant is sleeping, that is their phytochromes telling them, hey, we're going down, and so you're not disturbing it. But if you leave a green light on all day, like every night throughout a plant site, yeah, it's going to stress the living balls out of them. You're sure as shit plants see green light. In fact, green is one of the more powerful wavelengths. So yeah, they for sure they're photosynthesizing off green. Green is great to add to your spectrum. A lot of HPS lights cut out in the green, and then we'd add those green lights at night, and people are like, oh yeah, plants, they don't see green light. They do see green light. It will stress them out. If you leave it on 12 hours every single night, every single day, it's going to stress them out. You popping in there for 45 minutes to feed your plants or pop some leaves or do whatever you want to do in there, that is not going to bother them too much. So definitely see, green is good for the terp production. Green light is it's an important part of the spectrum. That's what white light that we get from LEDs. It's all of the spectrum, all combined. They take all the colors and they put it all together, and you get white light. That's how they make LEDs. They take red, green, and blue, blend them all together, and we get white light. In fact, I'm looking at my white light over here, and it's like I can see the different little LED diodes. I shouldn't be looking at it because I'm going blind as we speak. But yes, definitely don't try to do the moon. Don't dance with the devil in the pale moonlight. That's what we're gonna go with. So yeah, basically that, right, Sean?
That's right, sir. All right, this one actually was for me. If you don't mind me answering,
of course. For you guys that don't know, I didn't pick Chalky out of a hat. This is a guy who is an amazing grower. He has a lot of skill sets I don't have. You are an expert in the organic world of cannabis growing. You are an outdoor I'm gonna label expert on you. I'm sure you might take umbrage with it.
Expert is like, it depends.
Yeah.
Right.
Knock it out, Chonk. What do you got for Chonk?
All right, SP says, Chonky, I got a girl late in flower. She looks big and beautiful, but has zero smell unless I ruffle her feathers a little. Have you ever come across that? I actually have, and I actually do quite often. Because I keep my temperatures a little bit lower in flower. I will keep them down around maybe mid 70s, a little bit lower. And with the VOCs, the volatile organic compounds, the terpenes will start volatilizing off, and that's where you get your smells from. So if you're warmer in flower, and you might see it get that smell a little bit more. if your temps are higher. But if you're keeping your tent or your grow room a little bit lower in temperature, you may not get that smell. I mean, I know I have people come over and I actually not break the bud open, but I just open it up a little bit to let them smell it, because when you open my tent, you don't always get that big, powerful, holy, what are you growing in there? You're going, there's some weed in there. So, but yeah, anybody who's actually ever smoked my weed, they know that it's legit, but when it's growing, it's not going to punch you in the face. The outdoor, on the other hand, where I can't control the temperature, you can smell my field a mile away.
It's fascinating. What comes to my mind when I hear this is, so like we talk about in this world of hash making, that you'll hear this term a lot, that there's blasters and washers. Now, what's the difference between a blaster and a washer? That is the cuticle membrane on the trichome head, how dense, how sealed it is. So when you get a good washer, that means it's got a big, thick cuticle membrane. You can put it in water with ice. You can churn it with your paddle, and they're not going to bust open. Now, if you got a blaster, why is it a blaster? Because you can wash those trichomes off chemically, take them all off. You don't care. It's a polar solvent or non-polar solvent. Once again, dyslexic, I can never remember which one it is, but it washes it off all off. It keeps it in there. And then all good washers are good blasters, but not all blasters are good washers. And that goes down to, like, you'll see some bud is kind of sandy trichomes, some bud is greasy trichomes. Greasy is blasters, sandy is washers. And that's literally, those cuticle membranes are just encapsulating that oil. And like Chunky said, all those VOCs, volatile organic compounds, all the terpenes, thiols, esters, cannabinoids, they're all contained in that little membrane. And the more that you're smelling it, funnily enough, is those are VOCs. They're going places. They're not staying. The more you smell, the more they're off gassing. So conversely, I might say that if a plant didn't stink, I don't know, it could be that it's bad genetics and just doesn't have any VOCs to begin with, or it could be what these sandy trichomes that we refer to as washers, and it could just be encapsulating those terpenes very, very well. And so you got to really beat up the bud in order to actually smell. Like Chunky said, if you crack open a nug, you're inherently going to be ripping apart little pieces of trichome here and there, and that's going to unleash the capsule of all the yummies that we want to consume in our nostrils and in our taste buds. And so, yeah, could be that's a polar. In poker, we always called it a polarized range. It's either aces or a bluff. And if I can rule out aces, then I know you're bluffing. And if I can rule out bluffing, I know you got aces. And so I'd say your range is polarized in this situation. You either got bunk genetics or great genetics. And so smoke it. Let us know. Leave a comment. Check us back. Let us know. Was it a jackpot or was it a flop?
I think your range is pretty polarized, my friend. You're a guitarist, a comedian, a cannabis expert. What can't Grambo do? That's my question for you. What can't Grambo do?
Read. No, I'm one of these people that like refuses. I refuse. If there's a thing that I want to do, like literally like with guitar or anything, learning languages, it's like, how would you do it? It's like, well, I'll throw 11 hours a day, 7 days a week for the next 11 years. How's that sound? And next thing you know, you're fucking Shreddy McGee. I have a method for learning. I do a YouTube channel called Grambo Digital Studio. Hasn't been updated in quite a while, but I do tutorials, 3D animation, 2D animation, editing, all things like, I don't use the AI anymore because it's so prevalent. But back in the day, you had to run Python code to actually figure it out. And so, I'm a bit of a Renaissance man. I always love the quote from Groundhog Day on this subject of like, because I'll tell people, it's like, oh, I build websites. I'm a comedian. I'm a musician. I do all these cool things. And people are always shocked. And I always quote Groundhog Day, where Bill Murray, he's learning piano, he's learning ice sculpting. And they ask him, like, what's going on with that? And he goes, maybe God isn't omnipotent. Maybe he's just kind of been around for a long time and knows a bunch of things. I'm 40. I learned guitar from when I was 12 to 25. I learned growing from when I was 25 to about 35 and going on into my 40s now. I'm taking on jujitsu. I want to learn how to dance. And so like my comedian friends find out I'm a YouTuber. They're like, oh, that's crazy. My YouTube friends find out I'm a musician. Oh, that's crazy. My musician friends find out that I dance. They're like, that's pretty cool. My dancing friends find out I roll. They go, that's fucking cool. Don't beat us up. I love nothing more than choking the life out of a man, Chunky Nugs. I love getting
I know where I'm gonna get my heat if I ever need any.
Your heat?
Your heat. You're gonna be my heat. There you go.
As my buddy who was an Iraq veteran in some sort, a little bit of special forces operations, he used to always say, when it comes to the apocalypse, oh, we're gonna survive. Us? Oh, we're gonna be all right. The rest of them, that's what me and Jaron keep seeds. We call our seeds the apocalypse stash. So in case the shit goes down, you'll hear this like, I heard a legend of a man in Fort Collins who has the dank. And you go, I am that man. So hold on to your seeds just in case.
Yeah, I may have a slight problem with collecting genetics myself.
Yes, I mean, right to Chad Carroll's point, like I have a crazy black for those are Black Label Society, Zach Wild fans. I roadied for Black Label Society for a little bit. It was an amazing time. Their tour manager was in the movie Rockstar, and we were just two nerdy kids hanging out. We wanted autographs and everything, and they had a couple of roadie members quit, and we told them we're in a band. You know, we've been touring, we're doing all this stuff, and they were like, "Hey, you guys want a gig?" And it was when Robert Trujillo from Metallica was in the band, and so I was in charge of setting up Robert Trujillo's gear, and he used these very fancy strap locks for his strap, and I'd never had $300 strap. I've never seen that in real life. I've heard that really good strap. Most strap locks hook on and they just go click, and then you push a button, they unclick. Not Robert Trujillo's, man. And so I'm standing there as like his bass tech, and I cannot go up and ask the man, "Hey, I don't know how to put on your strap." You know, he's gonna go, "Well, what the fuck? Get away from my cabinets if you don't know how to put a strap on." So I'm literally sitting there like a numbnuts. Man, I look back at those pictures of me with Zach Wild's gear and everything, and I go, "Man, I was young, skinny, and good looking." We're hot. You might not feel hot right now, Chunky. You're the hottest you're ever gonna be. So work it, girl. Work it.
All right. I see LJ Jones gifting some Grambo.
Hey,
wow.
Gifted. LJ Jones, that's my what'd you want to be? Did he say he wanted to be Bobby Hull? I always say he's my Alex Ovechkin of the Grambo, just putting up points, but that's why Cody Whittaker, you're my Sidney Crosby, and LJ Jones, that's my Alex Ovechkin. Just
I think I called LJ Jones the president of the Grambo the other day.
He's the prime minister. Yes.
Prime minister. And Cody is his underling. He's right there too.
Oh, that's my my consigliere, my defense minister.
All right. All right. Next question about pollen. You ready?
Oh boy, I'm not, but let's do this.
Let's do it anyway though. In what ways can you help stabilize male pollen? Trying to maximize the amount of seeds produced, but also a better ratio of male to female. Is this possible? I'll just say, as far as I understand,
yes, please, because I know nothing about pollen.
There's nothing you can do for the ratio of male to female. And actually, I will default to Rasta Jeff. I just listened to the Grow From Your Heart podcast this last weekend, and they were talking about that. And he said that with a good germination, a good pollination, that there will be about 50-50 ratio with your male to female seeds. But as far as stabilizing, I don't know, other than for like if you're talking about stabilizing in the genetics, I am not sure. You're gonna have if you hunt that great male plant, you should have some great male pollen. And if you mean to stabilize it to keep it, I would make sure keep it nice and dry and keep it cold.
I would say that's a great shout out, Rasta Jeff. The place I would go to find out more about this, because I actually know nothing about pollen, me and male plants. You know, I realized this weekend that I'm the only man to ever be in my apartment. I've had like a dozen different women in my apartment. You know, I'm the only man. So I just I love my girls. I don't fucks with the boys, and so I know nothing about pollen. But I would go over to the Irie Army Discord. Go over to Discord, find the Irie Army. That is the place where you are going to find all the information about pollen. That is my guy over there, Ross Jeff, down there in Pueblo. Also a little bit of a stand-up comedian. He's not as sharpened as myself, but he's very, very passionate, and he's out there doing it. So one of these days, they're putting pressure on me to do stand-up at the Cup, Chonky, and I'm really not feeling it. I'm filthy. I'm a filthy comedian.
I was told that you don't have a choice for Sunday. I'm not sure about Saturday. I was told there's I was told Grambo is performing, and I was told Nick T's performing. So this is what I'm just telling you what I heard and what I was told. So
I mean, I will go up and be funny. I don't know if I want to go up and do 10 minutes of my material. Yes, Witches Accused points out. Oh, you went with Daz. I didn't know that. I didn't know Daz. Skankfest is. I always want to apply for Skankfest, but because I'm perfect for Skankfest. But I've been for people that don't know my story. I came off the road. I did this road trip with PJ Johnson, our good buddy PJ over there. And he's in Denver now. He was out of Boulder, but he's living in Denver now. And we got off the road. We did a 25 city tour. I had the most amazing time the whole freaking weekend. I just had the most amazing, or the whole weekend, the whole summer. I had the most amazing time ever. Posing for a picture, and let me pose for a better one. This girl asked how my stream's going. There. So now you guys all chat. You're in the picture with the girl. And so I did this 25 city tour. We went out to strip clubs, met girls. I hooked up with this beautiful woman. It was literally the most amazing time of my life. I came back 300 in the negative. You know, I was broke. I got a kid. I'm just like, bro. And I asked me and PJ are just talking openly, and I tell him, I was like, bro, when I get back to Denver, I need something that takes all of my skills, being funny, being a content creator, doing all the different things that I do, animation, editing, production, on-camera skills. I need something that's going to take all of those, and I just beg the universe to provide something for me. We got back on a Monday, and on Friday, Guru had quit the Dude Grow show and they needed someone. I asked the universe to provide me something, and it took 4 days of me being home from this road trip. And to where I look at it and I go, man, I asked God themselves, the universe almighty. I asked the universe to give me something, and it gave it to me. And I go, that means something. And so I can't do the road. I love the road. One of the other reasons I did that road trip is because my daughter was 3. Well, she's about to turn 6. And when your kid is 3, you can take off and you can leave and you know, you can talk to her through Zoom and she'll be happy. But when she's 6, man, she needs daddy. I love every single, I hung out with her all day today. I was in a great mood. I went to Red Rocks yesterday. I took a little bit of mushrooms. I was hanging out with my best friend, Michelle, out there. I call her Oracle, you know, from the Matrix. This bitch is the Oracle, dude. She drops like knowledge on me. And I went from being really depressed. You guys know I'm going through a breakup with my fine ass ex-girlfriend. I've had lots of bad dates and lots of different shenanigans. And so I can't leave. I can't go on tour. And the universe it gave me this cannabis media game, man. I fucking love it. And so I promised to God themselves that I was going to take this very, very seriously. And so to go back and just do stand up for no money and no attention and just grind it seems like a slap in the face to the universe. But that being said, the universe has been very explicit that it's time to get back, such as the Dude Grows show. They want me to do stand up at the Cop. And I go, man, I feel like the universe is nudging me back into it. And it's time to nudge, baby. I'm all about that nudge life. So I think the time has come. I'm going to get back into it. One of the promises that I made at Red Rocks, I was on a little bit of mushrooms. I'm watching Ganja White Night. I look up in the sun, into the sky, and I just looked at it, and I'm looking around at all the beautiful women and all the cool people and all the stuff. And I was like, man, I really want to live a good life. I want to get in shape. I want to get back to stand up. And I looked up at the sky, and I made a promise that I was going to do that. And I woke up to a beautiful blonde in my DMs this morning. I literally woke up to a pretty girl being like, hi, how are you? Holy shit. Hello, beautiful woman. That's crazy. It took all of, you ask for things. And if you're really true hearted about it, and I mean, you have to cast off the shackles. I quit my job in 2018. I was on food stamps. I lived on an air mattress for 3.5 years, and I'd take chicks home and I'd bang on that air mattress. I didn't give a fuck, dude. I was rolling dirty, and I go, I am not going back to the 9-to-5. I will die on this hill. And the universe realized, they're like, well, we can't let this son of a bitch die on the hill. That's not practical. You know, that's not practical for everyone. You cannot jump off that cliff and chase your dream the way that, every famous person will tell you have to. You can't. Some of you can't. I could. I was in a unique position where I used the lockdown of COVID to teach myself a lot of skills. I looked at the marketplace of life and I said, what's missing? What do people need? And I go, after COVID, everyone wanted to chase their dream, everybody. But you know what people didn't want to do? Learn how to make the shit to chase their dream. And I go, let me learn every single aspect of doing it. And so I learned from David Fincher, is one of my favorite directors, director of the movie Seven, Gone Girl, so many amazing movies. Love David Fincher. And he says that if you are a director and you don't know how to do every single job on a movie set, you're going to get screwed. Someone's going to say, talk, and then you're going to go, oh, I guess I can't do it, you know? So you're going to get a lot of no's and a lot of BS. So he knows how to do every single thing on a film set. So that way no one can tell him shit. And I go, all right, David Fincher, I'm going to teach myself from being a director of photography to being an actual director, to be a first unit AD, to being a grip, to being a best boy, to being lighting tech. I'm going to teach myself every single job. I'm going to teach myself every piece of software. OBS, I'm a master of it. Adobe, the entire Adobe suite, I've mastered. I teach it. Blender 3D animation, I've mastered it. I teach it. I learned every single thing you can. So I don't know how I got off on this, Chonky. I told dude, Brett from the dude, that once we cross an hour on Grambo Grows, it goes off the rails, and I just start like saying regrettable shit.
I don't even remember what the question was.
I don't remember what the question was, but we did it, Chonky. We're coming up on an hour 20. I really thank you for being a part of this. We got a few good questions in there, some good information, a little bit about re-veg, a little bit about CO2. Yeah,
we've got if you've got a few more, if you want to blast through them real quick.
Let's do a fire thing. We'll jam them off quick.
All right, one that should be short and easy. I got a question. Anyone know of a cheap but reliable plant sexing lab for regs?
They're popping up everywhere. It would depend on your location. If you're in Denver, go follow the Seed to Harvest podcast. Canorado Chris, he has the hookup. It's really cool. Once they pop their true leaves. What's that?
I thought it was Farmer Freeman.
I don't think that's the local place in Denver, but yeah, Farmer Free. There you go. Perfect. That's why Chunky is the man up in here. You get a Farmer Freeman test. You can. It's not your cotyledons, but your first set of true leaves. As soon as they pop their first set of true leaves, you can take a little section of that, send it in. It will give you not very accurate kind of profiles on cannabinoids and stuff, but it will sex them. Yep. And that's amazing.
Yep. I don't mind male plants myself. I make fertilizer out of them. I make my own FPJ. I take male plants and all my cannabis leaves, put it in water and leaf mold, let it set for a year, and I have fermented plant juice right there. So having males isn't always bad, by the way.
Thanks,
and then goes back to that
$3
pollen question too. If you grow out your males and you hunt your males, you'll have stable pollen.
There you go. All right, what else we got, buddy?
Next question. Another one from Crippled Cannabis Cowboy. I had a hem that fertilized all my plants in a tent. I got rid of all of them and cleaned the tent like a nutso. How long does it last? I heard it might stay alive for a few months. I'm assuming he meant the pollen from the selfing plant.
And pollen, I don't think it would classify as alive. It would be viable. You know, there's the constituent parts of the pollen, and I don't know that it quite qualify as alive, just as mushroom spores aren't technically alive. You know, mushroom spore. If anyone's familiar with panspermia, some people think that life inherently didn't exist here. And Terrence McKenna always would make the point that the mushrooms, Psilocybe cubensis mushrooms, are alien, and potentially cannabis, also an alien substance, doesn't have the strength to weight ratio on hemp is just insane compared to steel. Like its strength to weight is stronger than steel. It's up there with Kevlar in a strength to weight ratio. Cannabis is an alien plant. When you just look at cannabis, it looks alien. It looks weird. It's weird.
Beautiful. Like me, I'm weird and beautiful.
Hey, I agree.
All right, yeah. The last
use bleach, use steam cleaning, hot and bleach, and oxidization is your best friend. That's how.
I was gonna say, just be careful if you do this, but get a cheap ozonator from Amazon. Yeah. Just make sure
don't breathe it.
Don't breathe it. Make sure you're out of the room. Make sure your animals are out of the room, exhaust the shit out of it, but an ozonator will help out with killing just about anything you can imagine in that room.
Yeah, damn right.
Grambo, you getting ready to go dancing again?
I'm telling you, I know a lot of the cannabis community is a big fan of the Y Files, and if you watch AJ's Y Files, AJ was just on Joe Rogan. I don't usually listen to Rogan very much, but Scotty was telling me AJ from Y Files is on there. I'm gonna have to check it out. But AJ always wears red glasses for his post show, and I was like, damn, that's a good look. He looks good with those. So I bought a pair, and I go, I don't look nearly as good as AJ does.
Yeah, but you need like that old like 70s white leather suit with a popped collar, nice high, roll up in the disco. There you go.
Yeah, people haven't seen me. I dress in a blazer and slacks every day of my life. I made a decision after the divorce. I'm just like I've always wanted to dance. I've been in the closet about wanting to dress nice. So yeah, I wear nice slacks, a t-shirt underneath, and a blazer pretty much every day. Every time I go on a date, they always go, "Boy, you look nice," and I go, "This is my everyday, bitch."
There you go. I asked my wife if she needed my knife to stab a bit. She's like, "Yeah, not today. Don't want to." So I always got to hook them up. All right, last one.
Wives are for stabbing bitches.
Yeah, she'll do it for fun. She's my real heat. She's 4'11", but she will kick your ass. and I'm not
one last one.
4'11". Last one, Reginald the Mechanic Fool. Hopefully you got your Easter card in the mail, my friend.
Shout out Reginald.
There might have been a pass through from Mr. Westport to myself to Reginald the Mechanic Fool. So hopefully,
sounds like cool kid stuff, Chunky. Sounds like cool kid stuff.
It was some cool kid shit going on today too. Can you have an expert?
My impression of Chunky Nugs.
Can you have an expert explain why growing mushrooms and cannabis in the same tent isn't good?
Well, I would say that depending on the mushrooms, it's like they're competing in there. It's a fungus, so it's getting down in the root zone. It's colonizing it. It could outcompete other good fungus, good bacteria that we do want in there. That's why Recharge is such an awesome product. Go over to Real Growers Amazon page. Use code dude in there. Get the little discount on that. So I don't know. I've always heard that like sometimes companion cropping, especially with like no-till and stuff, people will get funguses growing in their rhizosphere, and they'll have little mushrooms popping up through their cover crop and everything. And so in some cases, it's a good thing. So I'd say once again, mushroom and with mushrooms, no cultivar, it's a strain. So I'd say strain dependent, bro. Don't semantically check me.
And I think your Mailman Grows came up with another great point. Thank you, Mailman. Mushrooms need lots of humidity, and that's nothing. You don't want lots of humidity in your flower room. You're gonna get bud mold, and you're gonna get some pest, and you're gonna have a high pest pressure with a lot of humidity.
Yeah, botrytis, powdery mildew. I mean, all of the bad things are going to happen inside of that environment. So definitely, yeah, the mushrooms that's a great point. They're going to want that steep humidity, and the cannabis won't mind it, but we don't want it. We don't want that. 60-60, baby. Well, that's for drying. You actually want like 78, 58. I would say somewhere in that. I believe mildews and things will start forming around 62 to 64% humidity. So I always would keep it right around 58% humidity, around 78 degrees Fahrenheit, and you're gonna have some happy plants. All right, Chunk, we did it. You seem frozen, so that's a good opportunity to wrap it up. So you seem frozen as fuck. So yep, there he went. All right, guys. Endless thank you to Chonky Nugs. He's been having a little bit of problems with this stuff, but what a great time for it to go sideways, because we did it. This is the Late Night Smoke. This is the questions episode. I didn't see any of these questions. Thank you all for all of the information. If I got anything wrong, leave a comment. I love reading about it. If you know more than me, leave a comment. Here's the thing. Me and Scotty, we always read the comments over on Dude Grows. We learn stuff from you guys. Scotty always says we're learning in public. It is a great thing. Kyle Terps over there. We're going to see you this weekend, buddy. It's going to be sick. It's this weekend. When I wake up tomorrow, it's this weekend. Next week. It's crazy. I got my kid all week, so that way I can have the whole weekend off just doing the thing. It's an amazing thing. So once again, I'm going to run through it. Thank you, Curly Greenleaf, Cody Whittaker, 5 subs, dropping it down there. Green Meds for Life, dropping the 2 gift subs out there. Crippled Cannabis, LJ Jones, dropping 5. High Dog, welcome to the Gramborg, my friend. Rob, thank you so much for the gift sub. LJ Jones dropping 1. LJ Jones dropping 1. LJ Jones dropping 1. LJ Jones dropping 1. Guys, Shawnee Mac threw $3 at us as well. That all goes to the Mo Grows Fund, getting us these seeds sent out, getting all of my stuff going, helping me figure out all of my guitar stuff, my insurance, my taxes. This creating a YouTube channel and actually doing it as a job is way, way more work than I ever would have imagined. So thank you guys so much. Smoke that like button before you guys leave. Subscribe if you vibe. Subscribing is so important, not just because it helps me, but it helps everybody. The more you subscribe to cannabis content, the more that YouTube knows that cannabis content is here to stay. And once again, sharing is caring. You guys see that share button down there? Hit it, roll this video up, pass it to a friend, just like LJ Jones. Man, we got a lot of new Gramborg members. Thank you guys. Welcome all the new Gramborg members. We do a post show every single night after this show, plus bonus content. And as extract seller starts rolling out, we get a little bit of affiliate money and stuff. I'm gonna hire myself a local Denver filmmaker and producer, and we're gonna start rocking this channel out, and we're gonna be doing it. Another thing that might be coming, I've been noticing a lot of other top streamers will take their highlight clips and they'll clip them out and they'll post them as videos. So I think you'll start to notice a thumbnail structure. If you see a thumbnail structure that has a cannabis cartoon as the avatar, that's going to be shorts clipped from the show. If you see me on the thumbnail, that means that's a Grambo Grows brand new video, high production video. And so you'll see those popping out, 2 different thumbnail structures. There's going to be a lot more of the cannabis videos than there are going to be the Grambo Grows videos. That's just the nature of the beast, but it's going to be sweet. So thank you guys. I endlessly appreciate you. Thank you, Chunky Nugs, for helping me out with this. Go follow Chunky Nugs over on Instagram. Go over to the Extract Seller Discord. He is running it over there. Check him out hosting at the Seedsman auction. It's this next Friday is going to be the auction. So watch Jesus Plants over there on YouTube, and follow Chunky on all the social media. Follow me on social media. Follow me on Instagram. Guys, one of the biggest ego gratification. I was hanging out with this DJ chick last night, and then my friend told her I was a YouTuber, and she goes, "Oh, you're a YouTuber? Type your name in." I type in the word Grambo and hand it back to her. She hits enter and she goes, "Really? I'm a one-word Google, you guys, and it's thanks to you guys. Thank you so much for sharing these videos. Thank you for engaging with these videos. Thank you for subscribing, and follow me on Instagram. It really, really, really helps. I get buried on Instagram. I'm a one-word Google, but you got to go through several steps to get me on Instagram. It really helps me with the ladies and the stand-up, which is 2 of my most important things in my life. So thank you guys. Once again, if you guys want to go over to GRAMBO.shop, everything is 25% off right now for all you guys. Use code GramFam, GRAMFAM, capital G, capital F. GramFam gets 25% off. Go get yourself Grambo Grow shirt. Women love this. I get compliments all the time. Everyone says they get compliments on the Grambo Grow shirt. And we got the nothing but good vibes up in here shirts. Those are available all the way from small to XXX, and you can get that for 25% off. Code GramFam, GRAMBO.shop. Thank you guys. This has been an amazing episode. Thank you to everyone. We got next week, I don't know. Next week's the Hash Bash. I'm going to be up in Longmont. I don't know that it's theoretically possible to do the stream. I might try to pop on and do something if I can find internet. I am not sure what's going on next weekend, but the following weekend is going to be Father's Day, and I'm in talks with the To Be Blunt Peasy over there. Thank you, Chunky Nugs, for connecting us, and he's penciled in to be the guest. So it's going to be sick. Thank you all so much. To quote Reginald, my man, there is nothing but good vibes up in here. Grambo Grows. I'll see you guys soon. Bye, y'all. Love ya.
We're dropping knowledge on Grambo Grows.